Hey guys, welcome and ting and ting and ting. And someone suggested that I reacted to something on this particular young lady here, Milunka Savić, and the most decorated female soldier in history. And I do believe she was a Serbian fighter during this First World War. I do believe that was, you know what I mean? And she's a national hero there, you understand what I mean? So they suggested, hey, take a look at this lady here, and you know what I mean? Now, also before forgetting this video here, I'd like to thank those who gave me super thanks, donations, and all of that will go back to getting stuff for the setup that I have here. You understand? Like recently with the donations that I got from before, I bought a part to my lava mic that I could plug into the mic and plug it into my camera. So now when I do outside shooting, which I already did some videos, I have to edit it. I got decent audio because I was able to get that part. So thank you again for donating through the super thanks there. You understand? Let's go ahead and YouTube and simmer and see how see what the history of Miss Milunka Savi is.
Milunka Savić is a largely unknown Serbian woman who just happens to be the most decorated female in the history of warfare. Despite unbelievable acts of bravery and heroism, Savić died penniless and nearly forgotten. Born in the village of Koprivnica near Novi Pazar on 28 June 1890. However, her year of birth differs depending on the source. She was the eldest of 4 children. When, in 1912, Milunka Savic's brother got the notice that he was to be drafted to service in the First Balkan War, she chose to go in his place, cutting her hair and donning men's clothes, joining the Serbian army while posing as a man named Milan. She quickly saw combat as part of the Drina division of the Battle of Bregalnica on June 30th, 1913 in the Second Balkan War, where she got her first medal for bravery as well as a promotion. She was now a corporal.
I wonder how many Serbian women during that time actually did this and end up fighting and not even getting caught as a woman. And furthermore, I think women are quite capable of being on the front lines, because I think when you're on the front lines, people think it's all this bravery and patriotism. For most ordinary people, if you get caught up on the front lines, it's a matter of survival. You fighting to survive. You're not fighting so much for the honor and glory of country. You fight for survival. A lot of people are. Now, some people might take it a step further and try to save others, and you know what I mean, and do things like that. But again, both male and female are capable of doing that. We know that in history before, there was women warriors and they were just as fierce as the men. The dominant, quotation marks, dominant gender sort of rewrite the socialization of people, where women stay home and the men go out to fight. Gotta ask yourself, man, how much of it was fashioned so that we could believe such things as those gender roles? And ever so often, a woman like Miss Savi here comes along and show people, hey, we can do this too. It's kind of a cool, in a not so cool kind of way, because we're talking about war here, but
was deployed to the front lines 10 times before she sustained a chest wound. When recovering from her injuries in hospital, her true gender was revealed. Then she was sent to her commander. He didn't want to punish her because she had proven a valuable and highly competent soldier. Instead, she was offered a transfer to the nursing division. She rejected this proposal, saying she only wanted to fight for her country as a combatant. According to an apocryphal account of the events, Her commanding officer said he would think about it and tell her his decision the next day. Standing to attention, Milunka replied, "I will wait." It only took an hour for the commanding officer to decide to let her stay in the infantry unit.
Wow.
He also promoted her to junior sergeant. The Second Balkan War ended the same year, but World War I began just a year later, in 1914. The Austro-Hungarian Empire invaded Serbia with 450,000 troops. The Serbian army was made up of 250,000 mostly volunteer soldiers with inadequate weaponry. Milunka was assigned to the Iron Squadron, the most elite second squadron of the Serbian army. She fought in many battles, and for the heroism she displayed in the Battle of Kolubara on December 15, 1914, she received the Miloš Obilić Golden Medal of Courage. In the fall of 1915, in Macedonia, Milunka suffered heavy head injuries and retreated across Albania in that condition. After several months of the treatment in Corfu, she returned to the Salonika front, where she participated in battles throughout the summer and fall of 1916. During the Battle of the Cerna Bend in late 1916, she single-handedly captured 23 extremely confused Bulgarian soldiers. That remarkable feat happened as Serbian, French, and Russian soldiers engaged in a 2-month slog against Bulgaria and Germany on the Macedonian front. The battle ended with a tactical victory for the Entente, which is a nice way of saying they gained a few yards and lost a load of soldiers. For the courage she exhibited in the battles during 1917, she was decorated by the Crown Prince of the Kingdom of Serbia, receiving the Golden Order of Karađorđe's Star with swords. While Russia stepped up with Cross of St. George, Great Britain provided the Medal of the Most Distinguished Order of St. Michael. Soon after, also the French military's 5th degree Legion of Honor. She later also received the French War Cross. Milunka was the first woman in history to receive this French decoration. When the fighting ceased in 1918, Milunka Savić was one of the lucky few to have survived it all. After 7 years of continuous service, she was demobilized in 1919. She turned down an offer to move to France, where she was eligible to collect a comfortable French army pension. Instead, she chose to live in Belgrade and found work as a postal worker. In the interwar period, Milunka was largely forgotten by the general public.
She was forgotten by the general public because she was so humble. I mean, she could have gone lived a decent life in Paris. And she chose to stay home and get a job. I guess that would be comfortable to a certain degree, struggling for survival to stay up and things like that, but it's not just the fact that she had the fighting spirit, she also had a certain sense of spirituality.
She worked in different jobs. She was a cook, then a nurse, then a factory worker for military uniform control. In 1923, she married Veliko Grigorjević, having met him in Mostar, where she was recommended for an honorary warden at the Mostar prison. They divorced immediately after the birth of their daughter, Miljana. She also adopted 3 other daughters, Visnia, Radmila, and Zorka, whom she raised on her own. She worked several menial jobs up to 1927, after which she had a steady employment as a cleaning lady at the State Mortgage Bank. When World War II rolled around, she organized an infirmary where she gave first aid to partisans.
Still doing
That
it.
is the reason why the police beat her bloody in front of her children, and then took her to the concentration camp located in Banjica, where she was supposed to be shot to death. When after 10 months, a German general and camp commander found out who she was, he released Milunka with all the military honors. After the end of World War II, Milunka was given a state pension, but was forgotten once again. She worked as a cleaning lady in the taverns of Belgrade. By the late 1950s, her daughter was hospitalized, and she was living in a crumbling house in Belgrade with her 3 adopted children, until she began appearing in Jubilee celebrations with her medals. This caught the eye of the media and the public, which focused attention on Milunka's by then difficult living conditions. In 1972, public pressure and a newspaper article highlighting her difficult housing and financial situation, the Belgrade City Assembly gave her a small apartment on the 4th floor of a building that didn't have an elevator. She died in this apartment the very next year on October 5, 1973. even though it was announced that Milunka Savić would be buried in the Alley of the Greats. This didn't happen. She was buried in her family's grave. However, in 2013, in recognition of her importance as a war hero, her remains were moved from the family plot into the Alley of the Greats.
Wow. Fought in all those wars and then just forgotten. Not anymore. I didn't know about her, so but I'm glad I found out about her now. Makes me want to look into more female input in revolutions and wars around the world, you know what I mean? Especially in that region there, because there have to be some strong women there, especially with all the centuries of back and forth, you know, people invading and going and coming and a constant threat of something happening. That's got to be wearing on the soul, you know what I'm saying, and things. But I'm learning a lot. Thank you, whoever suggested this, thank you. I'll leave a link in the description to this video. And if you like what I just reacted to, drop a like on it. Comment down below, tell me some more stuff, you know what I mean? To my subs people and stuff that's subscribed. Comment down below, let me know what you think and what you know that I need to know. Each one teach one, right? In the meantime, you all take care of each other, alright? Cool runnings.